Picture a woman on a rock at the edge of a river, an enemy general locked in her arms. Below them, cold, black water. She has one move left, and it will end them both. To understand how she got there, we have to go back to one of the bloodiest wars you've probably never heard of. The year is 1592. In Japan, a warlord named Toyotomi Hideyoshi has just united the country after a century of civil war, and he is not finished. His next target, China. But to reach it, his armies have to march straight through Korea. So he gives a chilling order: take the whole peninsula. Over 150,000 Japanese soldiers pour across the sea, armed with something Korea has barely seen: the matchlock musket. Korean cities fall in weeks. The capital, Seoul, is taken. The king flees north. It looks like the entire country is about to be swallowed whole. But in the south sits a fortress town called Jinju. Stone walls, a river at its back, and a commander who refuses to run. His name is Kim Si-min. And in October 1592, roughly 30,000 Japanese troops arrive at his gates. How many men does Kim have to defend the city? Around 3,800, that's not a typo. Nearly 8 enemies for every one of his soldiers. For days, the Japanese hurl themselves at the walls with ladders, towers, and gunfire. And for days, Jinju holds. Kim's defenders rain down arrows, rocks, and boiling water. Townspeople, even women and children, carry stones to the ramparts through the night. Then reinforcements and guerrilla fighters strike at the Japanese from behind. After about a week, the invaders break and retreat. It's a stunning victory, one of the 3 greatest of the entire war. But it comes at a price. During the fighting, Kim Si-min is struck by a bullet to the head. The hero of Jinju does not live to see the enemy leave. Far away, Hideyoshi hears how his army was humiliated by a town a fraction of its size, and he wants revenge. In the summer of 1593, the Japanese come back to Jinju, this time not with 30,000 men, but with a force estimated near 90,000. Their orders are brutal and specific: take the fortress and leave nothing alive. The defenders know what's coming. Many could flee. Most choose to stay. For over a week, Jinju fights again, but heavy rains weaken the walls, and the sheer numbers never stop coming. Finally, the walls give way. The Japanese flood inside. What follows is one of the darkest days of the war. Tens of thousands are killed, soldiers and civilians alike. Some accounts put the dead as high as 60,000. To celebrate, Japanese commanders hold a banquet in a beautiful riverside pavilion overlooking the Nam River. And this is where our woman on the rock finally steps forward. Her name, by legend, is Nongae. She was a giseng, a Korean entertainer, and she had lost everything in the fall of the city. At the banquet, she catches the eye of a Japanese general and leads him out to a lone rock jutting over the water. There, she wraps her arms around him, locks her fingers tight, and throws herself backward off the cliff, taking him with her into the river. Both drown. The rock is still there today. Koreans call it Uyam, the righteous rock. Now, historians debate how much of Nongae's story is fact and how much is legend. But for Korea, she became something larger, a symbol of defiance that refused to die. And that defiance didn't end at Jinju. 4 years later, the Japanese invade again and run into a different kind of problem. High on a mountain stands Hwawangsan fortress, defended by a man the enemy has learned to fear, Gwak Jae-u, the Red Coat General, a wealthy scholar turned guerrilla leader. He raised his own army of volunteers and wore bright red robes into battle to taunt the invaders. When a massive Japanese force reaches Hwawangsan, They study its steep walls, its defenders, its red-robed commander, and reportedly decide not to attack at all. Think about that. Sometimes the strongest defense isn't winning the battle. It's making the enemy too afraid to start one. The Imjin War would drag on until 1598, ending only when Hideyoshi died and his armies finally withdrew. But the names survived. Kim Semin, Nongae, Gwak Jae-u. Ordinary people who looked at impossible odds and refused to look away. So the next time you think one person can't change the story, remember the woman on the rock. Sometimes one move is all it takes.